Abby. I'm working on a one-woman show right now, and I'm supposed to be practicing improvising and connecting with the audience. So that's what I'm here to do today. So I'm gonna talk to you about my dad, which is not what my one-woman show is about because it's too soon for that. I can't. But I love my dad so much, and growing up I was like a daddy's girl, right? And I loved it. I'm a middle child. I have a younger sister, older brother, and I just loved walking around and being like, yeah, I got dad wrapped around my little finger.
Yeah.
And it felt good. And I used to love being like, oh yeah, my dad and I are so similar. He's emotionally repressed, can't talk about anything. I'm now emotionally repressed because I want to be just like him, so I can't talk about anything. But I loved it. And so I loved finding things that proved to him that I was strong, one of the guys, right? When I was younger, my dad and older brother wore boxers, and I wanted to wear boxers, so they got me a pair of boxers, matching ones from Brooks Brothers, and I was like, what's this for? That was the whole, and the boxers. And so after I graduated college, I moved to San Francisco, and I got the New York Times email digest, and there was an article in there, and I clicked on it, and I was reading it, and it's all about woman power in college, taking control of the dating scene, and not letting guys take advantage of them and whatever. And this really resonated with me because I didn't really date very many people, and I also saw that as a strength because I was like, no one can touch me, no one can get close. But in reality, I was just totally emotionally repressed and closed off, which is not a strength. And if that psychologist is still in the audience and wants to talk after this, I actually think he might have left. But so I read this article and I'm like, oh, it's perfect. Send it off to my dad. And no response. And my dad's one of those dads that sends an email every day, text. Did you see this? Did you do that? Check that out. Love you. And so that was kind of weird. And a couple days go by and I follow up and I'm like, hey, and I call him on the phone. I'm like, hey, did you get that email from me? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, what did you think? And he's like, I honestly don't know what to think. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I go back and I look at the article, and to refresh my memory, I tried to Google it and I found it. It's actually called Sex on Campus. She can play that game too. And it was one of those things where I thought I read the article, but in reality I just scanned it. And I thought it was it was about women empowerment, but it basically was about this girl who just slept around and fucked any guys she wanted. It was I'm focused on my schoolwork. I'm gonna get straight A's and I'm gonna fuck whoever I want and I'm never gonna call him back. And so I basically told my dad that I forgot a key part of the story. The context of it, in the email I wrote, this is just like my college experience. So this dad, who I had loved so much, I actually learned a new term on Googling this, working with my therapist this past year about emotional incest. Turns out might have been some of that going on. He's not to blame. I was consensual. But so I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, I love my dad a lot, and he's a great dad. And now we're in a really good spot. And I have a boyfriend who I love a lot who's here filming me. And my dad even lets him sleep over, and really nice. So we're all good there. Anyways, thanks so much for listening.
Let us know when you're ready and where your one-woman